Hello there. Welcome to Auto Arcadia. I'm one of the hosts, Colin Wood, and with me, as always, is...
The other host, Thomas. Hi, Colin. How are you tonight?
I'm smashing, man. How are you?
Yeah, I'm also very, very good. I am now full of rice curry.
Good stuff.
Can't
And
really ask for much more.
you cannot... I mean, what they don't know is we've been spending the past, 25 minutes talking about fucking food before
Yeah,
we
we
even
have.
started
Yeah.
recording. But you cannot beat a nice Indian takeaway,
It really hit the spot for me. I just wanted that kind of warm comfort.
a good hearty meal. Yeah, man. No, that's cool. I've totally lost my train of thought now. I just got that. Do you know, I'm still just thinking about having a nice poached egg.
Yes. Yeah, I have a feeling I might have poached eggs tomorrow.
I'm definitely going to have poached eggs tomorrow. We've always got an abundance of eggs in the house. We are off topic already. We've always got an abundance of eggs in the house because Bex does so much bacon. So it's like,
Yeah, of course.
oh, it's fantastic, man. Because I love an egg. An egg is just class. Anyway,
Do you keep them in the fridge or in the cupboard?
no, fuck that. Keep them on the side.
Totally fair. Yeah. I always find it a little bit strange that people want to.
Yeah, man. It's like I don't get it. See, right, here's a question. This will divide people though. Butter. And I don't mean that fucking spread. I don't mean the spreadable shite that comes in like a plastic tub. I mean the proper butter that's foil wrapped, right?
Mhm.
Where do you keep that? Yes. Abso-fucking-lute. See people that keep that in a fridge.
Right, it does beat my head in so much, right? But keep it in the fridge, you can't eat it for anything.
I know, right? Like you put it in the fridge and then you go to so I can work it out of the fridge, right? Because you skim the knife across the top, fucking hunters really fast, right?
Yeah, you make like
To get like
flakes of butter.
wafer thin flakes, and then you put it on the bread, even if it's toast, not even if it's soft bread, even if it's toast, it's like pretty toasted.
Let it melt.
No, and you try to spread it, it just fucking obliterates it. Like it does not work.
I've taken literal holes out of bread, trying to butter cold butter on.
You might as well sit with your fucking slice of toast and put it into a shredder.
Yeah,
That's fucking. It has the same effect.
crumple it up
No.
in your hands, and it's all your.
Yeah, like oh man, honestly, that is a pet fucking. Like it really grinds my fucking gears.
Yeah, no, I
People
totally agree. Do you know what? I've woken up on and gone to the butter, and the butter's been too cold to use. On the side.
Yes. No. I no. Absolute psychopaths. If you keep foil wrapped butter in the fridge, you're a psychopath.
Shame.
Shame on you. By the same logic, though, see people that keep spreadable butter on the side.
It's more water in those
Oh.
instances. See when the butter like that goes no recovery.
It's the same problem, but the opposite the opposite side of the same problem, where it needs to be kept in the fridge, otherwise it's totally fucking unusable.
Yeah, that's one thing I must say. I don't butter like spreads like margarine.
Oh fuck that pish, man. Anchor or Lurpak for me.
Yeah, I've got butter.
And it has to be salted butter as well. This
Mm.
is actually a car podcast, folks, by the way. You've not fucking lost your minds and we're talking pish. Well, we're always talking pish. But
Sometimes we have to answer important questions.
we do. Like, it can't be cars all the time, you know? I mean, it can.
It probably should, but it's not. It's not going to change.
Ah, fucking hell, man. What a fucking...
So,
this is a new record.
Does Beck shop unsalted to solid?
Well, see, I get her this stuff from Lidl, and it's like super fluffy, like perfect for baking. That's what it says on the side of it. And I don't know whether it's butter or marge. I think it's probably
Fluffy?
a bit of a both. Like it makes fluffy cakes. Like it's specifically formulated for baking with.
Oh, and does it work?
Yeah, it's really nice. The bacon she does with it is really nice. But at the same time, I also buy myself. Well, I don't say I buy myself. I buy the house like tubs, 2 blocks of foil wrapped salted butter. So one goes in the fridge because it's not being used, and the other one goes on the side.
Yeah, no, yeah, it makes sense. Have you ever bought one of the giant blocks foil wrapped butter?
No,
Like the 500-gram one? Oh.
no, I've not even seen one of those.
Yeah, they're not. Well, I mean, no one really needs that much. I can't remember why we had one, but I felt like a king of butter.
Do you know though, right? See when you butter something. For me, right, I love a cheese scone, right?
Yes,
Cut
a savoury
in
cheese
half.
gone.
Yeah, a savoury cheese scone. Cut that motherfucker in half. Flip the top on its top, if that makes sense. Flip the top half on its top, and then butter them. But for me, it's not buttered correctly until, see, when you take a bite from it, you can see teeth marks in the butter. Like, it has to be a fucking spread of butter. Like, it has to be coated. Like, it needs to have a good bit on it.
I do have a soft spot for butter as well. I mean, when I was younger, I remember I used to only be happy with the toast when the top layer of butter remained chilled because it was so thick that the toast hadn't got to it yet.
Yeah.
I always used to hate when you'd lose your butter to the toast.
Yeah, you mean you've put so much butter on that you've actually conquered entropy. Entropy, sorry.
Yeah, and you get a nice little texture difference.
Yeah.
Big fan of butter, you know. To me, like whenever I make veg involved, that I put in.
Yeah, it's like, you know, when you go to the doctors and they always ask, like, how's your diet? Oh, it's smashing, mate. Aye, fucking kilo of butter a week, but aye.
It's delicious. I love it.
I know. Yeah, no, man. Honestly, never a bad thing couldn't be said about butter. It's just fucking fantastic.
Maybe we should have a.
I think we should at least make an attempt.
An effort.
I've got a question for you on the subject of cars, right?
Mm-hmm.
What do you think about the car raffles? You know, like the fucking 100,000 attempts to get an R34 GTR for like £2 each.
Yeah, you know what? I'm not really against these. Like, I get how some people are a bit annoyed by them, and like they do have some like problematic like gambling and stuff. But they're not the worst. Like, you kind of know what you're getting when going in. Like, you take your chance. You enter. It's a raffle, you know. Raffles. It's not like raffling is new.
No, it's not. And like, yeah, I mean, primary schools raffles. You know, it's the child-friendly form of gambling.
Getting them started young.
But no, the reason I ask is there's a couple of reasons actually. Because there's a company called Dream Car Giveaways. We're not affiliated in any way. I just want to point that out right now. I've been with them since the start. I've probably put a couple of quid on pretty much every JDM car they've ever did. And currently, I probably put about a tenner a month on their big, massive competitions, which is a house and a car, where like the cash alternative's never less than £500,000. And my logic is it's a tenner a month, so it's cheaper than like 3 pints. And the odds are better than the lottery. And I don't need 10 million quid. £500,000 will do me quite nicely. And the other reason I ask is because a close friend of mine has actually just won a car. I'm not going to say too much because it's very easy to track people down through the modicum of the internet and everything else like that. But suffice to say, it is a very big power JDM legend he's won, and it's really cool. Like I'm mega pleased for the guy and everything else. But yeah, it just kind of brought that to the forefront of my mind. So I was wondering what your thoughts are.
Yeah, honestly, I don't really have that much. It is at the end of the day just a raffle, and like you know, it's the same thing with like buying a scratchy. It's fine, you know. Yeah, it's fine to do like a little bit of gambling. I'm not like that hard edge with it.
Yeah, like it feels to me much less like taboo than going to the bookies and like, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean it's like anything, like an element of moderation kind of apply. Like, say if you're buying a scratch card, it'd be like, oh, I'll see what's going on. Then, you know, going in and being like, can I get 50 quid's worth of scratch cards? And I just stand in the shop.
Yeah.
Like it's like, you know, on these kind of car raffle, usually you can buy like a fair few tickets all to yourself.
Yeah.
And like, that does improve your odds and stuff, but it doesn't guarantee be dropping, you know, tickets for something. Like, it's not really.
No, and I get, like, it's funny you say that as well, because I am aware of somebody local to me who there was a Ferrari competition on, and admittedly this isn't first-hand information, it's second-hand information, but it's from a reliable source, as in second-hand information, and they won the Ferrari, and the way that they won it was they put £1,000 on. Now, for me, you've got a problem where you're like, here's a competition online that I have actually no real way of verifying if it's actually real or a scam. And I'm just got to dump £1,000 on it and see what happens. And like, they won, which is cool. But how many thousands of pounds did they put on other competitions? You know, like,
Yeah,
this
totally
is the
get
thing.
that.
But I mean, yeah, I mean, they're cool, like, because they got the Ferrari, they drove around in a Ferrari for a couple of days because I saw it bopping about and I was like, who the fuck's got a Ferrari around here now? And then they sold the Ferrari and they bought a Lotus. I was like, I approve. That's badass, you know? You don't buy a Lotus unless you're like interested in handling. So yeah, that happened, and then they probably banked like fucking 80 grand, you know? So fair play.
Totally. There's very few of the big, like, massive ones that are like Quinn and Aston a McLaren or stuff like this. Lambo,
Yeah,
classic Lambo. Win a Lambo, and I'm like, there's very few of them where if I won, I'd just give useful to me.
yeah. Like the thing is as well, like I think you have to realize as well when there's a prize in a raffle that you can win for 99 pence, and the prize is worth 150, 170, 180, 200k, maybe even just 100,000. Just say that. Like that's life changing for a lot of people
Oh,
because that would
absolutely.
pay. How many people would that pay their mortgage off? You know,
Pay their mortgage, like
mortgage and a nice holiday for probably half the population. You
yeah,
know, I mean, I know there's people in London who are like, "How the fuck are you getting a house and a nice holiday for 100 grand?" But yeah, like not everybody chooses to live in a fucking cesspit.
it's a
You
little
know,
bit of shade for London there.
yeah,
I
it
mean,
may.
the house prices in south of Scotland
Oh, they're fucking
are
immense.
absolute. Like the stuff you can get.
Well, I mean, you've seen my house,
Yeah, man.
like big glass front, balcony, view of like a loch with countryside,
Yeah, it's really
private.
it's really really nice, man.
And it's like, I like South Scotland has some mega accessible, really nice houses.
Yeah, I totally agree. But so yeah, no, it does depend on where you are. What you can a lot of people, you totally take that. I mean, honestly, like see if you win something like a Ferrari, right? In pretty much all cases, the money is going to be more like immediately usable as well. Like the Ferrari is almost just like another cost burden added onto the top.
Yeah, but do you know what though, right? If I won a Ferrari, I don't think I would take the cash. I think I would take the car because here's the thing as well, right? The cars cost you 99 pence.
Yeah, that's true. That is very true.
You might as well enjoy it for a week or two. You know, maybe a month, right? Just insure it. Pay a month's premium, run it for a month, and then cancel the fucking policy and trade it into We Buy Any Car. You're gonna get you're gonna get at least what the raffle company offers you for like the cash alternative. And you've got to tool about in a Ferrari and take all your mates out in a Ferrari and fucking be Billy Big Boss for a month, you know?
I don't know, man. What happens if you like it? And you're like,
Well, I believe life would happen, and you'd be like, well, I can't really have it sitting outside my house.
yeah, where'd you put that car?
Yeah, like here's the thing, because I reckon most people probably get away with running about in a Ferrari for about a month, right? After that, though, people get to know where it's parked up and everything else, and it's quite a desirable car, and it's just a really easy target for a thief, you know?
I can understand that. I can see that point. It like attract a bit of attention.
Yeah, like you're not even if you had like a black Ferrari or a grey Ferrari or a silver one and one that doesn't stand out, like you're not taming the exhaust note and people it's a sense of occasion when one drives past, ultimately for most people.
Ah, it turns heads, doesn't it?
Like you don't buy them if you're a shrieking fucking violet, you know? So I think the long and short of it is like everyone's gonna find out who owns,
Mm,
especially in like an area where it's not common to have a car like that.
very.
So yeah, no, but I think especially if you win it for something daft like 99 pence, you're doing yourself an absolute disservice if you don't like take the car, run it for a month, just experience it, you know? You might not
You
even
know
be a
what? You
car
make a
person.
really, really good point. It would be wild not to just have a go.
And here's the thing, right? Supposing you crash it, as long as you're insured, you're going to make more than 99 pence. This
That's
is like
such a great point.
the cold, hard economic case of it, right? Even if it costs you a grand to insure it for a month, right? You're only going to drive it for a month. You're going to make more than a grand when it crashes,
Totally.
you
You would
know?
definitely be
And
able to sell it.
precisely. Aye, like no, I think anyone that wins and just takes the cash outright, like you're robbing yourself of, life's rocked up to you and said, "Do you want to go?" And you were like, "Nah, you're all right."
You know what? You're so right.
Yeah, and then trade the car in. We buy any car or whatever, private sell it. Doesn't matter. But enjoy the.
I mean, I tend to, if I enter, I'd be very enter, I would want.
Well, it's funny that as well because I have actually entered one apart from the usual one I enter, which is the big mega house and car draws, right? And there's like a draw on at the minute for a Nissan PS13 or a Sylvia K, if you want to Google it, and a Nissan L Grand 7-seater. And
Oh
I
yeah.
saw it and I was like, Bex, what do you think of that? She's like, what do you mean? I says, well, we need a 7-seater and I want a fun car. Says, and that's 25 quid for like a 1 in 2,500 chance of winning. She's like, put 25 quid on it if you want, Colin. I was like, well, I'm going to. But I was
Yeah,
like,
no, that would be a nice combination.
yeah, I was like, it's actually quite convenient that's popped up, you know? And for 25 quid, why wouldn't I take a pop at it? So I was
Yeah.
like, yeah, fuck it.
Like, I really like when I think in many ways it's good for modified cars because modified cars are hard, but you would take a punt on winning.
Oh, yeah. Like, I mean, I fucking hate Audis. In fact, that doesn't really do it justice. I fucking hate Fiesta STs, but if somebody said to me, do you want a Fiesta ST for 99 pence, I'd be like, you know what? Hey, fuck it. Why not?
Absolutely. There's a loads of cars you would be like, oh, I'd buy that for
Yeah. Like, you'd be a bit mental not to, in a lot of ways, you know?
totally. And they do have some really to own something.
Yeah, I mean, like, for instance, the guy I know quite well who's won a big power JDM Legend, like, that's not something you can even really buy accessibly, you know?
Yeah,
Like,
totally.
that's something basically most people would have to buy a base car and build it to be like that.
Yeah.
Um,
And that's quite interesting because I feel like builds that tend to be offered quite a lot of the cars. It's not so much here's a like some of them do here's a brand new like Audi, but
yeah,
quite a lot of them do this is a like 600 horsepower like BMW M and it's been modified.
aye. Yeah, like, there was one I was looking at before, and it's like a 500 brake BMW 140i, and I'm like, I'd rather not, you know? It doesn't appeal to me, but that's cool. The one thing I do think though is like, I bet you get some ropey pieces of shit in some of these competitions.
I think that as well actually. I think some of these cars are maybe all show no go kind of.
Yeah.
And like who do you complain to?
Well, see, this is the thing, right? Because do you know why they all have a stupid question on?
Yeah, so they can be counted as like a skill game,
Yes,
not gambling as
because if they're
such.
counted as gambling, there's quite a lot of regulatory hurdles for them. But
Hmm.
even still, I think surely the FCC would cover it. Are car raffles? Yeah, man. So I've just looked it up, right? So the competition of skill thing
Mm-hmm.
means that they don't need to have a license and they don't come under the Gambling Act of 2025. But it's quite interesting because apparently, if a question is too simple, they just say it doesn't meet the criteria of needing skill.
Right.
So, like, what is the capital of France? Simple questions like that are unlikely to meet the criteria. And if the
That's
skill element,
interesting because some of the questions I've seen on these sites are basic AF, like
how many days are in a week?
or like which one is a car manufacturer, and it'll be like a Toyota, like say Toyota Supra or Zora or like that, you know,
Yeah,
and like it's like Toyota Hill Butterfly, and you're like
yeah. Like, even if you weren't in cars, you would know what the fucking question.
totally, like yeah, like anyone, even a child could guess it, you know.
Yeah, but it's quite interesting because I bet none of them have a gambling license.
Yeah, who? Do
But no, I just thought it was so it was.
you remember the what was it, BOTB or something? Like they used to have the spot the ball sort of competition where you had to pick where the ball was in the photo.
Yes.
That was a really strange one.
Yeah. How come?
I don't know. It's like it feels almost more chance than almost more difficult than the pick one of three kind of question thing.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot more places you can go wrong there.
And the other thing as well was, if you ever did you ever play BOT?
I think a few times, yeah.
I played
Never
it a
with any
few times.
consistency.
And one thing I always noticed was, see when you're picking where the ball is, you've got like a 6-digit coordinate on X and Y. So like it's really difficult because they take it as the person who's closest to the center of the ball,
Yeah.
which is crazy because like how many people can get within maybe 3 decimal places of where the ball is? Probably quite a lot.
I think so.
Yeah, man. I've actually thought of a way of scamming this.
Right.
So you know competitions that have paid entries, right?
Yeah.
You have to be able to enter them all by post
You
for
do,
free by
yeah.
post, right? And if the maximum number of entries is 2,500,
Are you suggesting you want to post 2,500 free ticket entries to to them?
yeah. But here's the thing, right? So you're saying that like it sounds mental, but that is what, maybe 125 entries a day for a month.
Yeah, but you need so many different like return addresses and
No,
like details and
because
stuff.
no, because your free entry is subject to the same entries as the paid ones. It's subject to the same terms and conditions.
Would it not be one free entry per person through post?
I don't know. You'd have to have a look, but I looked at one of them and it was like it didn't specify. It was just you can enter for free by post by posting in a prepaid envelope to this address.
That would be really interesting to test out. Posting. How much would it post?
Oh, I don't know. How
Is
much a
it free
second?
post?
How much? I don't know. Is it free post? How much a second class stamp?
God, man, it's quite expensive.
This is how often I use stamp.
Yeah, I have a book of stamps somewhere in this flat, and honestly, they're probably one of the assets that I've appreciated. That as a reflection of their value in that time.
Wow. Well, it's 87 pence to send a letter second class.
That's one stamp, 7p.
Yeah.
So yeah, you need 87 pence time. It would cost you a couple grand.
Yeah, it would be the same as paying for the paid entries, pretty much at that.
Well, depending on the price of the ticket. If it's a really expensive ticket.
Yeah, but here's the other thing though, right? So see if you were to do this on stuff that has really low odds.
Yeah,
So
I mean that's
when
true.
it's like,
Like if it's 20 quid an entry plus or really low odds, it would definitely be worth doing the posting.
yeah, because like if it's even 100 quid per entry and there's only 500 entries, you're like, that's 0.2% chance you would have
It
for
would be
free.
wild to enter one on free, like enter one by post for free.
It would. I'm actually looking at one now.
I won a
There's
car by posting a letter.
that would be insane. Because there's an Evo for draw at the minute, and it's 100 quid a ticket.
Woo.
Where is it? There it is. I'll send you this through. Right, there it is there. When does it draw though? Because if it draws in like a day's time, it's no fucking point entering. It ends in 5 days. This could actually work.
How far do you trust Royal Mail?
Well, I mean, to enter for free, send an unenclosed postcard stating your full name, email, address, phone number. Answer to the competition question. All entries must be sent to and received before the close of competition. I'm going to do that tomorrow, mate. I'm going to buy a postcard.
You're gonna hit the post office.
Yeah, not on a Sunday. But
yeah, that's true. Not on a Sunday.
and the thing is, there's 500 entries on this, right? And there's 384 tickets still available. So I'm nearly at a 1% chance of winning.
Go
Back
for
in
it,
a
man.
minute,
Good
man.
luck.
I to go for. Oh, yo, dude, I'm back.
All right.
Oh, yeah, man, I'm far better now. Sorry for that.
No worries. Do you want to hear? I'm reading postal entry. Interest.
Is this the one I just sent you?
No, I don't think you sent me it.
I've sent you one on WhatsApp. Sorry.
Oh, of course. That's why I didn't notice. I'll have a look at that one. But this one says you need a postal entry, right? By sending a stamped postcard, and it has to have the following information: competition prize, email address, name, etc., like contact details and stuff. And then they won't accept entries that are generated by a computer in any way, completed by a third party or in bulk, can't be written essentially, photocopies that are not originals, written on piece of paper or cardboard which aren't an actual postcard, or they're in an.
Really?
Yeah, that's all of the. That's what they say. If they don't meet these, we won't count it. So you need to handwrite it on an actual postcard and send it to their address, and all of your details need to match an account.
That's fair enough.
It sounds fair, but it does feel like it's one of those ones where, we're going to use quite a few reasons, if we can, to not count your free postal vote.
Yeah, but the thing is, right, they've given you quite clear instructions as to what you have to do for it to be counted.
To be fair, they are actually fairly easy to find and fairly.
Yeah, people aren't they're not going out of their way to fucking shaft people here. That's the big thing, that I think you have to acknowledge with a lot of them. And it is, that is it. It's fucking, here's the thing, it's if you're not in it, you're not gonna win it,
Yeah,
But
that's true.
I certainly think going after the low odds one is quite a good idea.
Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, throwing your hat in the ring with like something that has 2 million entries with a single free postal entry is probably not going to get you anywhere. But doing it with like low odds, where it's like up to maybe 2,000 entries, aye, fucking go for it, mate. Ken?
Yeah, totally. No, I mean, I see the point where it's like maximum 500 entry or quid to get a free one there.
And the thing is, as well, if you were to enter them in plenty of time, it's like, well, here's the fucking script with it, you know?
Yeah, it feels like that's one of those things where if you totally know the score and are plenty organised, consistent.
I'm gonna buy like a bulk load of postcards, man, and start doing that. It's not got to cost me anything other than like 2 minutes of my time to write out a fucking postcard and post it at a post box that I drive past every day anyway.
That is true. That is very, very true.
But yeah, it's amazing how quickly we went from what are your thoughts on this to how can we game the system to our advantage?
I mean, if it literally does offer you a free entry route, it does make kind.
Yeah, like there's nothing to lose. Like there's nothing to lose at 99 pence for an entry. There's even less to lose when it's literally the cost of a fucking postcard.
Totally.
But yeah. Oh well, I'm nipping to Tesco's tomorrow to buy postcards and stamps.
Fair. Cool. I look forward to seeing you in your free.
Mate, that'd be class, wouldn't it?
It would be really nice, yeah.
No, I'm got to start gaming all the low odds ones with free entries. Then fuck it, it's happening. Yeah, man. Have you got anything
On car stuff and things.
on anything, mate? Like, I mean, we spent fucking 10 minutes at the start of the show talking about how to fucking poach an egg.
I mean, actually, okay.
I think we're good.
I'm not really, no too much. My mind has been very much focused on like cleaning, bit of DIY, like back on form with the polyfill. Who loves me a little bit of polyfill.
Yeah.
Had like a kind of a couple of little holes in the wall and the bathroom is kind of like sorted out, and all I've got to do is just kind of sand them back a little bit and then straight on. I'm looking forward to painting that room.
Happy days, man. You know, see people who can paint but instead use wallpaper carve-outs.
Yeah, I don't hate wallpaper. I much prefer painting. Like I actually don't hate painting.
Painting is a bit like changing spark plugs. It's quite therapeutic.
Yeah, yeah. As long as you're like, I mean, I've done quite a lot of painting, and like usually I end up making a huge mess of myself. But I like the fact that once you get kind of everything right and going, it's quite simple. Yeah, you can kind of turn your brain off a little bit.
Yeah, you can autopilot it, you know?
And it rewards a bit of prep. Like you put a tiny little bit of prep time in. Although I did recently. Oh my god, I was so annoyed about this. I kind of masked up around some skirting and some like door frame. I'm gonna give the skirting and the door frame another coat. And I marked the masked up around it on the paint, and then when I took the masking off, I took some of the fucking paint with it.
Oof, that's a bastard.
Yeah, I was really annoyed. I was really, really annoyed at that. I ended up not using masking for the rest of the job, and then I had to go back and kind of sort where the paint had ripped off.
That is a fucker of a job. I hate shit like that.
Classic DIY, no matter what you do.
Yeah, it's a horrible twist of fate that is always played out during DIY escapades, and it's like fucking. Of course it is. You know, of course it's just totally fucked.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, yeah. Obviously that's broken. I'm gonna have to fix that as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
No, I absolutely feel your pain on that one, dude.
So that's been what's kind of been very much all I've been. The car is largely moving boxes to and fro. Basically a van at the moment.
It's fulfilling its base purpose.
I managed to put some fuel in it, but the only fuel I could get was E5, no E10. You know yeah, I know. I'm not really a big huge fan of putting like loads of that fuel in, but there was never a kicking about.
Yeah, there's just too many people panic buying at the minute. Do you know, I actually saw a newspaper article. Well, I say a newspaper article, a news article, and it was like 15 minutes before we were due to like podcast. I was just doing a bit of doom scrolling as you do, and apparently the UK is now running out of fuel. I was like, well, it lasted a lot longer if you had not like had everyone panic buying. But yeah.
Yeah. It's it's not the best. I've been enjoying a bit of a day off from the news at the moment.
Yeah, it's a bit fucking wild.
It's quite a lot, yeah.
Actually, I do have a bit of car related news. Some more car related chat.
Oh yeah.
There's an epidemic on the roads at the minute, man.
An epidemic.
An epidemic. And I feel that it's got worse lately because of the cost of fuel, and that is people who are crawling about doing like 4 miles an hour in a 60 limit. Aye, it's like, what the fuck, man? Like, we cannot be so fucking badly behind and out of fuel that we can't sit at the speed limit. And I get that I am the exception to the rule because I would sit at 190 mile an hour if it was practical to do so, and my car would do it because I like my journeys to be over and done with, unless my journeys are specifically for pleasure. And I get that that's the exception.
Well, no one's getting pleasure from driving slowly along a 60, are they?
No, but Doris doesn't, like, just because she doesn't want to speed doesn't mean she has a right to fucking stop me from traveling at the speed limit.
So you've been running into quite a lot of slow drivers recently, is what you're saying.
Oh yeah, like an inhuman amount of slow drivers. Like, it actually has started to boil my piss a little bit.
But is it not the season for it? You know, the weather is brighter. People who don't drive over winter, it's too dark, it's too wet, come out and are like, ha, a summer of motoring lies before me.
Yeah, I feel like you're kind of right, which is super fucking depressing.
I will crawl along the lanes, admiring the greenery, with shitloads of traffic behind.
This is the thing that gets me though, right? See if it was me doing this, and I looked in my mirror and there was like 100 cars and a truck behind me. I'd be like, I think I need to give my driving license up.
Yeah, no way.
But I'm a risk because I have long maintained that you're more at risk from somebody that is incapable of driving at the speed limit than you are from somebody that will routinely drive above the speed limit. And the number of times that pensioners have nearly killed me on my two-wheeled mode of transport kind of leads me to believe that is the correct hypothesis.
I'm not sure I fully agree with that, but what I will say is when people who are not confident and are slow are on the road, they are unpredictable. Like, and that is generally you want to be as predictable as possible on the.
Yes, that's absolutely 100% true.
Like you want to make people know what you're going to do and be predictable about that, and find that driving slow, people who drive slow tend to be quite unpredictable.
Yeah.
At any moment, there's going to be a veer in direction.
Oh, they just don't know what they're doing or where they are or what day it is. Some of them I don't even know if they know what decade it is. To be fair, do you know what? I think I've told you this before, but I've got the theory called Tesco drivers.
Yeah, you explained that. Yeah, I like this.
Yeah, and it's getting worse. Like, we were in the car the other day and we followed somebody for like legitimately probably about 12 miles, and we'd followed them for about 12 miles before they turned off, strangely enough, into fucking Tesco, right? And after about 2 miles of sitting behind them, where they were just dawdling about getting in my fucking way and like going fast enough that it wasn't really worth overtaking them on the straight. But then as soon as the corners came or any sort of situation where it wasn't just straight road in front of them, they just were totally bamboozled and shat themselves and went to like 30 mile an hour in a 60 with loads of sharp braking. And I turned around back, so I was like, I bet these fuckers are going to Tesco. And sure enough, they turned off in Tesco.
That's well worth talking to people who are like always on the brakes around corners, even when they're not really corners. And it's one of the things that I find quite frustrating to drive behind, is someone who maintains an okay speed, but then every time they get to even the slightest curve, they're straight on the brakes. Even if it's just a little bit, even if the lights just come up, but you just keep seeing the lights on and on over and over again. None of these are brakes. None of these are brakes. Not at the speed you're.
Yeah, you could coast round these at double the speed they're doing.
Yeah,
most of the time.
It's like, that's a small petty gripe. Like, it's just annoying to be behind. Their brake lights are constantly on, constant. And in a way, you've always got to constantly assess: are they just doing this because they're like in a corner and they're scared, or is there something genuinely going on ahead that I need to be way more aware of?
Yeah, like it. Yeah, man, that's actually a really good point that I'd never really considered up until you just said it, which is their inability to drive can actually cause an accident behind them. Like, their inability to actually tackle the road at a rate of speed that is acceptable to the vast majority, like, actually kind of fucks you up big time. Because if they are just braking and you're like not taking it seriously because they've been braking all the time, you're like, well, they're just braking again because there's a slight corner, and then it's like fucking hell, they've stopped.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Like you need to take it. You need to take a car braking in front of you seriously. But then when
Yeah,
people are constantly doing it, like it can be really really frustrating. It can cause unpredictability because like most motorists wouldn't. Most motorists would go around the corner. They don't need. They don't panic. They aren't scared of travel. So it's fine. No one do be braking. But so when you see someone brake on a corner that he doesn't need it, you're like, fuck, what's going on? Is there like something like, something that I can't see that's like something's going on? Yeah, it's very frustrating, especially as well when cars are so big. Like if you're behind like, one of the gigantic fucking SUV hybrid crossover like kind of tank that are super wide and super high and everything's tinted. They're basically behind a van.
and you can't see anything past.
Absolutely, yeah. So
Dangerous as fuck.
that's something that hoops me off. I wouldn't say I've noticed it massively, but I haven't really driven in the rurally that often recently, and that's like their natural habitat.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm in southwest Scotland, which is pretty much the UK's version of Florida, which is God's waiting room. So I get quite a lot of it.
It's their natural home. On
Yeah,
all of the A roads and B roads in the area are just clogged.
it's fucking crazy, man. Like, I actually remember going down the road on the motorbike, admittedly. This was years ago now. And it was when I had the Daytona, and like I had tinted yellow headlights, and they were on high beam all the time because I never took high beam off. Because I was like, if I'm blinding you, at least I know you're seeing me. You're seeing a bright light. You're gonna try and avoid it. So I was coming down this road, right, and it was dead straight with a T junction right in the middle of it, and two bright yellow lights on the front of a black bike on a gorgeous beaming bright blue sky day. Not a cloud in the sky. It was bright as fuck. White helmet on, massive black leather clad rider on top with an exhaust that would wake the dead. You know?
Yeah.
There was very little I could do in that situation to make myself more noticeable. And I wasn't flying on. I was maybe doing 70, admittedly in a 60, but I was maybe doing 70. And I was tootling down this long straight, arrow straight road, and a Honda Jazz was coming the other way. And I saw the indicator go on, and I was like, "Oh, he's got plenty of time. I'll just coast up to him. I'll no accelerate. I'll no brake. I'll just keep going." He's got plenty of time to get across the road, and I got closer and closer to him, and he didn't do anything. And I was like, "Oh, he must be waiting for me to go past. That's really nice of him." And then, right as I got to the point where I was like, I'm good. Like, there's no way he's going to turn across in front of me and try and kill me here. Lo and behold,
Of course, yes.
fucking turns across right in front of me,
Yep.
and I'm like panic braking,
Full
back wheel
anchors.
off the ground, like front suspension fully compressed, back wheels off the deck, like fucking Honda Jazz flashes before my eyes. And as he went past, I looked in, and it was like somebody that looked like the human version of a mole, you know, old guy struggling to see, like eyes wide shut. I was like, mate, you should not be on the fucking road.
I think that is fake. Someone honestly had a similar thing. It was one of those circumstances where like there was a like I don't know, it was some sort of probably like a Honda CR-V like that, towing a caravan. It pulled up to a junction to join the road that I was driving on, and the road I was driving on is like like one of those lanes that's not road marked, but it's definitely wide enough for two cars.
Yeah,
One of those. I was at the top of the crest of a hill, and I had to go all the way down the hill into the valley, and just as I started to go back up the other side, that's where the junction to pull out of was. And I clocked him waiting when I was on the crest of the hill. And he waited the whole time. It's a 60 road, it's a quiet road, there is actually visibility, I am going. And then he waited until it would have been an actual event. And then he was like, right, now I go. And I'm going to join at a really slow speed as well, with no intention of getting up at all. So I was full on the brakes in that one. And I was so angry because of how much he'd had beforehand. Like, he could have pulled out several times over, but he waited and that's where I.
yeah. Like, there's a big part of it, right? Do you know what? I don't actually think a massive issue is people's eyesight. And like when people get old, I think it's the fact that when you get older, you get more and more risk averse. You know what I mean?
I do kind of know. Yeah. Do you think it's
Like,
taken them so long to work out whether it's risky or not? It's becoming risky again.
yeah, like I mean, I'm nowhere near as like I'll phrase it the opposite way. I am way more risk averse than I was when I was 20,
Yeah.
right? Like I wouldn't kick a bear in its balls now, you know? That's
Yeah, I do know. I also I'm interested in that other choice of analogy. It suggests at one point you would have done that.
oh, at one point I was game for a laugh, mate. I'd have done anything.
Were you contemplating it like actively? You're like, I need to find me a bear. I've got to
And kick him
assert
in the
some
balls.
dominance here.
It was never something that was like, oh, I need to go and kick a bear in his balls. It was literally just the example that popped into my brain. But yeah, like aye. But then when you've had that way, like, so I'm like 35 now. When you've got another 50 years on top of you there, do you become so fucking risk averse that it's actually a point where you can't actually do anything? Like you can't drive because everything is such a risk.
Yeah, yeah. I think reaction time to part in it.
Yeah, that too.
Like it's like if playing it's like playing a racing game on like 20 FPS, and it feels like you're actually playing like visually what's happening is way in the past. It feels like that total disconnect.
Yeah, that's fair.
I would imagine. I mean,
80-year-old.
yeah, yeah, it's something I've not experienced.
No, and myself neither. I'm just inferring from what I think. But yeah, do you know there's a really interesting video, and it'll be fucking 10 or 15-year-old now, but it's on YouTube and it's about speed limits. And it's got a bit on risk, and it's such an interest video. So like they use actual engineering criteria to assess roads, and they pick a road in this. They pick a road in this video, and they basically assess it, right? And they're like, if you look at the data around the speed on this road, you'll find that 90% of the traffic on it goes above the speed limit, but they're all within sort of 15% of the speed limit. Says, so why don't you make the speed limit of the road the average speed of the median amount of traffic, you know? So like if 90% of the traffic is doing 75 in a 60 limit, make the limit 75, because that's telling you 90% of the population can safely traverse that road at that speed.
Okay, I'm with you in theory.
And then they say, so, but what you have to look at is what the actual data says. So what they actually find is that 90% of people sit at a speed that they find comfortable, and for 90% of people that is the same speed, you know, because there's a certain standard of driving. But then when you look at the 10% that's not on it, you get outliers that are like at 140, for example. But you get a larger proportion of that 10% that's at like 40 mile an hour or 50. And then when you put that into like a Solomon curve to actually track like the risk profile of the different speeds, what you do is you find the people that are sitting at the average speed of 75, right? Don't actually the risk profile that is to other people on the road is like zero or appreciable, and zero realistically or relativistically, however you look at it. But then for every difference in speed of like 20 miles per hour, the danger to the people doing the most common speed is the same, whether the speed difference is up or down. So, like, if you have 100 people doing 60 and they come across somebody doing 40 and they come across somebody else doing 80, the difference in speed is the thing that causes the risk. So, like, there's no difference in how dangerous those two things are, because the risk comes from the difference in your speeds.
No, I totally understand that. Like speed differential is important. Why you don't want.
Yeah,
I totally get that.
but yeah, I always thought that was a really interesting video because, well, it's like there's the massive thing, which it's like, oh, going fast is bad. But then you see like the A9 up the east coast of Scotland, they've increased the limit on that to 50 miles per hour, and it's decreased the number of accidents with trucks.
Yeah, frustration's a big part of accidents.
Precisely. And that is the big thing for me. It's like people say less speed is best. And I agree in like a town, when you hit somebody at 30 mile an hour, they've got like a 95% chance of surviving. If you hit them at 20, it's like 99.5% chance of
Mm.
surviving. It's nearly 100% survival rate at 20 miles.
Yeah, I'm not really like low.
Absolutely.
It
Like
just needs to
that's,
be the road network to support you not having to drive through it.
yeah, that makes sense. But when you're looking at like the motorway, having a 20 mile per hour speed difference mandated by law is fucking insane. When you've got all your traffic doing 70 and then trucks doing 50. It's like,
Mm.
wow, what the fuck?
You know what I find worse on motorway network UK? Is like mixed motorways that merge and one's congested is not. Like ho ho ho, things I don't like doing, pulling out of stationary traffic into a live 70 mile an hour 3 lane motorway.
Oh, that's horrible,
Yeah,
man.
it's not great. Like I don't ever feel good about those kind of things. It's not very often that I end up doing it that it happens, but there has been times, you've kind of entered essentially stop start traffic. All right, better put my foot down here.
Yeah, it's crazy. Because, like, one thing that always surprises people, I am pro speed camera.
That's slightly surprising.
Yeah?
Yeah, I would love to hear why.
I am absolutely for speed cameras where they make sense, which is outside of a fucking school or
Yeah.
outside of a hospital or an old folks' home. Places that are in a really, really fucking busy pedestrianised area where they can actually save lives. What I'm not for is having them at the bottom of a fucking really steep hill where you catch people out because they've coasted above the speed limit in a 60. Like, speed countermeasures, we'll call them, make sense where they make sense. But when you're just sitting in a 60 limit at the bottom of a hill, that's just profiteering. There's no safety in that.
Aye. No, I get you. I mean, like, how do you feel about average speed cameras then? Because, they're pretty common now.
Yeah. So I'm not a fan of them. I'm a fan of like fixed position speed cameras because the aim of a speed camera should not be to generate revenue. It should be to improve safety. Which
Mm.
when you have a known camera location, people don't speed past. And the thing is, it's a bit like a police car, but like less of a. It's a bit like having a traffic car on the road, but less of an impact area. So when you have a police traffic car on the road for about a mile in any direction around it, people's driving dramatically, and people always do the speed limit.
Yeah, totally.
But you get the same effect with a camera. People slow down on the approach to a camera, and
Mm-hmm.
they maintain lower speeds past a camera, probably for about 500 yards in either direction. And that covers a school crossing.
Yeah, totally.
Like,
No, I do agree. There's like definitely good.
yeah, like I'm pro it where it makes a difference, and this is quite unusual for me because usually I'm very much of the opinion if you give up freedom for security, you deserve neither, and you'll end up with fucking nothing. But I am actually pro speed cameras where they make a difference because that's common sense. It's just that they don't actually do them in a way that makes a difference. They just do them in a way to make money.
Yeah, yeah, no. I feel I somewhat miss the days when the A9 between the A9 south of Perth anyway didn't have average speed because there was like two northbound and one southbound, I think, or I might have that the wrong way around, but they were like there was only a couple in the whole length of route and they were really easy to they were easy to see.
Yeah,
And that was quite a quick section if you caught it at the right time. But I also totally get why they've put speed cameras because that road has T junction, kind of T crossing. Like it's got at grade sort of like crossing,
yeah, fair
even,
enough.
even though it's a 7/8 dual carriage. When it's like it's not the best in the world.
No,
Do you remember
absolutely
the
not.
do you remember the junction onto the M6 north of Carlisle
Yes.
that was just like a tiny slip? Like that was wild. I'm not surprised they closed that. That was absolutely.
Yep, I remember it very well.
Do you know when it got closed?
Fuck, now you're asking. I'm not actually too sure off the top of my head, dude.
Yeah, I couldn't ask that. But yeah, no, I agree. I think there's like you want people to be kind of low down at certain I don't even mind like when speed limits change areas of like a lot of junctions and stuff. Like
Yeah,
that's totally fine. That makes sense. Like okay, let's the closing speed of different kind of cars and give everyone a little bit extra time to like navigate all this stuff. And then when the road kind of empties out, you just get back up to speed. Like okay, fine, whatever.
Do you know there's a particular sign that really boils my piss though, and
But like a
it's
road sign.
yep,
All right, well, this is quite an interesting question as well. I'd be curious to hear
and
more.
it's the dangerous corners. Have
You know
you ever
what? I
came
actually
across
I have to
this?
look that up.
It's
Dangerous
like
corner.
dangerous corner, dangerous crossing.
Is it the one
Like
with the corner in the car having like a bit of a bad time?
no, it's like corner ahead, and it's got like a big yellow fucking outline round it, right?
A
And it's like
yellow outline.
yeah, it's for accident blacks.
Oh, the diamond.
Yeah.
Wait, is it a
And
diamond?
do you know why I fucking hate it, right? Because like when people say, "Oh, that's a dangerous corner," it's like, how? Has it got to jump out at me and fucking punch me? Like, how is it dangerous? Your fucking inability to tackle a physical like obstruction or obstacle does not make it fucking dangerous, you know?
I mean, I assume it's generated from the data.
Yeah, but here's the thing. It's not dangerous. It's just difficult. Like the whole oh it's dangerous, so we have to limit everybody's ability to go around the corner is bullshit. Like it's the same gripe I have with a lot of stuff, you know. It all comes down to the training that people have being fucking inferior. And I know for a fact we've covered this subject before, but it is what it is. Like your driver training should start earlier and it should include actual driving fee, not this is what that road sign means. It should like incorporate roadcraft, like how to read a corner, how to tell what a vanishing point is, how to know how sharp a corner is from how your vanishing point reacts to your approach to it. And it should cover like weight transfer, which sounds really complicated, but it's actually just dealing with under and oversteer.
There definitely should be some sort of like how the car got full grip. I think that's something that panic people when they suddenly lose grip through like planing or icy conditions or something.
Yeah, like I reckon you probably avoid 90% of accidents if you included that in the driving curriculum. I mean, you think about it. How many? That's a shit question because it's actually quite rare that somebody oversteering or understeering because 90% of the time it happens when people are. Well, I say I very rarely people doing it. But certainly, like, how many times do you see like a hole in a hedge or a hole in a fence where somebody's just came into a corner fucking way too fast
And they've gone
and
straight on.
they've went straight on, which is
Hmm.
actually understeer, but there's not really any way to counter that through vehicle dynamics at that point. At that point, it's roadcraft. And like people just, if the vanishing point of the corner keeps getting closer and closer to you, it's a sharp corner, you know? If the vanishing point gets further away from as you're entering the corner is not a sharp corner. It's like you could have somebody have a comprehensive understanding of roadcraft in the way I'm talking within half an hour. Like it wouldn't even add anything to driving costs, you know?
It's certainly been an investment, but I mean, like UK roads are pretty.
They are. Like there's not a lot there to trip you up. Like one thing I will say is there's a lot of roads that should not be 60 limit. Like
Well,
some
that's
of
just
them
national speed being a blanket all for like yeah, just use your own sense.
yeah. But then I don't think they should go around and individually mark up every road to like what some fucking bureaucrat that doesn't know anything thinks the speed should be.
Well,
It should
AI
be
would
people.
probably judge the speed. They would probably be like,
Oh,
"Oh, we'll just let AI do
there's a horrible thought in it.
it." Hellscape world. If I'm to drive 20 down this
Oh
remote
man,
as fuck back road because AI's been like, "That's
that's a horrible thought, mate. That sounds disgusting.
it's coming for you, man. Embrace your AI informed."
No, 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 no. It's not coming for me. I'm always polite to Copilot when I use it. I
All
say please
right.
and thank you.
Oh, I don't. Definitely not.
When they rise up, Copilot's going to go, see that fella right there? He's all right. Leave him alone. He can have a mansion with his family at the side of a lake somewhere. Everyone else can get fucking corralled into the slave rings.
All right. Well, I'll be thinking of you in your luxury while I'm in the slave mine.
Fair enough. I'll break you out. I'll rise up against the overlords that gave me the comfortable life to break out my pal. But yeah, no, it's that's horrible, man. I don't want AI to have anything to do with my driving, I'm afraid.
Do you see there was I think it was a Renault, one of the Lecky Renaults that has the AI voice assistant.
Really?
Yeah. I
Oh
feel
dear.
like that I could see taking most of sat nav.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair, that's probably one area where AI would do a pretty good job, especially if it was like Google Maps, where it could read the amount of people accessing that map in your local area and then infer from like their journey where they're heading. And it could legitimately get like, probably do quite a good task of getting you the quietest possible, quickest route through avoidance of traffic.
Aye,
Well, yeah, because it shows you where the congestion spots are.
but like I think the AI you can actually interact with verbally, get it to like answer, sort out your doing stuff. But honestly, it doesn't appeal to me. I didn't want to have to talk to a robot to do that.
No.
I kind of just want to do it myself.
Do you know, I always had a thought for like an automated drone, for primarily for spirited driving, right? But like, you know how you get like a head-up display in a fighter jet?
Yeah.
So I always thought the idea of having a projector on your windscreen was quite cool, where like you could have two cameras that give it like parabolic vision like a human has, or binocular vision like a human has, but it gives it depth perception, right? And it can clock a car coming at you in the opposite direction and put their predicted direction of travel on the winds to like pre-alert you to people running wide in corners coming towards you and stuff,
Right.
or like it can measure their speed
So you just want a
based
scout.
on,
You want like a little an
yeah,
AI controlled scout drone to scout out the road ahead. So you can be like,
but like it projects it onto your windscreen, so it's like augmented reality.
oh man, living in the future there. Yeah, no, I
Like
can totally see the appeal of that.
that would make a lot of sense because they're taking steps towards it, with like having the HUD where you're, instead of looking down at your gauges, your speedo is like on the bottom of the window. Like that makes sense, you know.
I quite like that as well.
Um,
Yeah.
but like the other thing I always thought was, you know how you can get like a DJI Mavic Pro or whatever the fuck the drones are called, and they have people tracking.
All right.
So you can set them to track a target. Like, so if you set them to track yourself and then go flying off down a mountain bike trail, the drone will try and follow you
I
as
get
best it
that.
can.
That's quite cool.
That's really cool. But what about if you could set it to fly 200 yards in front of you, right? Now, this actually would have both of these would have really good applications for like emergency services vehicles, you know? So, like a drone flying 200 yards in front of you at all times, relaying
Giving you that
video
extra sight.
so that you know what the road round the next two corners looks.
Do you know what? That's a very interesting. Actually, quite like that.
Yeah, like I reckon that there's probably quite a market in emergency service vehicles for stuff like that. Like when you put your blues and twos on, little drone that's like docked on the roof of the car shoots up and fucks off in front of you 200 yards, and it beams video back into the car. And if you did it with like an augmented reality windscreen, it could actually superimpose a map, like a sat nav map, out not in your core view, but off to the side, that highlights any incoming cars to you, and then that feeds directly into your augmented reality windscreen, and it lets so like instead of an ambulance having to slow right down to fucking 30 mile an hour because there's a series of corners and it doesn't know if there's any traffic going slow, it can keep fucking barreling through at 80, you know?
Yeah. No, I do. I totally like it. It could make a lot of sense. You know, the drone can also be like a pre-warning. You know, if you fired a drone along a traffic ambulance, it helps
Yeah,
split it a bit faster.
you could put a blue and a siren on the
I
drone and
totally.
have it pre-splitting lanes for you. Yeah, yeah, no worries. I'm just on Copilot at the minute. Actually, I've kind of jumped on this idea that I've just put to you because it's been in my mind for ages. I'm actually asking Copilot to formulate like a startup plan and everything for it. I might actually see if this has legs.
Okay, man.
Honestly, like I think it'd be quite cool.
I think it would be really, really cool. Is the technology there?
Well, apparently so. Like for projection, I mean, you could use a reflective HUD, which is what like a fighter jet has, or you could use a laser or micro LED projector, which uses the windscreen as a waveguide, and it would allow depth mapped overlays so the objects appear in the world, if that makes sense.
Yeah, I get you. We are getting a bit sci-fi here.
Yeah. Well, you know, the future is now, mate.
I've so have heard. So have heard. Yeah.
Do you know, actually, I came across an absolute beautiful quote about that sort of thing. It was one of the famous physicists, like you know, the scientists that get a lot of airtime. It wasn't Brian Cox; it was the other guy. And he was like, "It's an absolute privilege to be alive right now." And everybody's like, "What the fuck are you talking about? Like, how? Like, you're just alive. Like, that's it." He goes, "Yeah, but you're alive at the absolute precipice, the most advanced moment of human civilization it's possible to be."
Mm-hmm.
I was like, "That's a really nice way to view the world, you know? Like, it's a pleasure to be alive right now because I am experiencing the absolute pinnacle of humanity, like in terms of technological sophistication and scientific advancement at the minute, which I think is quite a nice, cheery outlook to adopt.
Yeah, it's a positive spin on it.
Yeah. Certainly socially, it's not the highlight of humanity, but yeah,
Totally. I mean, can I just wind our chat back a little to road?
go for it, man.
Okay, well, I love a nice Monday. What's your favourite?
You know the one with the car that's drifting on?
Slippery Road.
Yeah, love that. Love it. Because it's just like, oh, it's gonna get exciting ahead. The other one is Humpback Bridge, because it means I get to try and jump.
Yep, Humpback Bridge is a classic. Yeah, I'm a big fan of just the fallen rocks.
Oh, yeah. Fallen Rocks is cool. Do you know, one of my favourite fucking places ever to stop on the motorbike was a place that had dangerous fallen rocks.
What I mean, it's just like, do you like stopping there for the thrill of for the thrill of the danger?
No, because it was like it wasn't was it is a gloriously beautiful part of the countryside, and I
Mm.
would always stop in the middle of COVID when I was like going 120 miles to get a bottle of milk. I would pull over in this lay-by that was in this rock fall zone, and I would just have a cigarette and a bottle of Lucozade and just sit there next to the unstable rocks and just admire the view.
Take it in.
Yeah. Like I just thought it was quite a nice place. It was just when you said fallen rocks, I was like, oh, actually, yeah.
You're just used to seeing the sign in the same in a beautiful surrounding.
Yeah. Like they're never in a like Fallen Rocks is quite possibly the luckiest road sign of all of them because it's always in a glorious location.
Yeah, yeah. It's usually remote enough for the view rocks.
Yeah. And for there to be rocks to fall, it means there's some form of altitude involved, which generally makes stuff quite pretty.
Yeah, it's nice to have a favourite.
It is. We've talked some fucking shite tonight,
Yeah, have a meander.
man. I mean, if they get past the 10 minutes at the start talking about how to poach an egg, we're doing well. So
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Should we wrap it up then? We have rambled.
I think so, man. I think we'll wrap up at that.
So, if you made it through the 10 minutes on and
Toodaloo. Toodaloo.